so you can look at it later.
Oopsie. What happened?
The counselor came and moved it over there, he thought that was better. He sat there and looked at himself on TV and he liked it, so I let him. So, good morning.
Good morning.
So, my name's Gail. I'm actually a nurse, but for this, we're gonna pretend like, I understand you're, applying for a job at Burger King.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll pretend like I'm the manager of Burger King. I've been there lots of times, so I think I can do that. So you brought a resume for me
Yes,
to look at?
it is.
Okay. So, well, I'm filling in your name and that sort of stuff. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, like you know, my name is Josiah Gilbert. I have lived out in the country most of my life. I have done odd jobs with my dad, cutting wood and repairing houses as I was growing up. I went to Gaston High School while I was growing up. Going to graduate from Gaston High School.
Do you graduate, not this year, but next year?
Yes.
Okay, uh-huh.
No, not next year.
Not this
Graduated
June?
2016.
Okay, good.
And I'm a hard, dedicated worker, and I've basically been with my whole family my whole life.
Okay. Tell me what you like, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, I play a variation of instruments. I have played the trumpet, the violin, the viola, the bass, and I'm starting to learn the French horn.
So this is a challenge for me, because the last two guys, I have two boys, and both of them played sports, and the last two guys played football. So I'm gonna have a hard time. Oh, I have a question for you. What style of music do you like?
It varies from the tempo, it depends. I like slow music sometimes.
And like if you're listening to music like on your iPhone or whatever you listen to music on, what style do you listen to?
I do variation of music. It depends on what this musician is singing about.
Do you like jazz? You play all those instruments?
I have listened to jazz. I never really got into it.
Uh-huh. Do you like folk music?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
like country and all that, yeah.
Yeah, huh, interesting. Okay, so as far as like applying for a job, what 3 words would you say best describe your strengths?
Dedicated, on time, and honest.
Okay, hang on, let me write that down, okay, because I don't want to trust that I'm going to remember. On time, I guess that means punctual, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you know that you're dedicated? How does that?
When, like say I start an exercise, I don't stop until I've done what I told myself I will do.
Okay.
I'll go out and I'll finish the work I set out to do that day. I'll stack as much wood as I can, and then I'll go back into the house and restart it on the next day.
Okay, good. So this is a hard question, I think, for everybody to answer. What is your biggest weakness?
My biggest weakness is my memory.
Oh.
I will go home and I will forget things. Home is kind of like my sanctuary. My parents never really forced me to do homework. So when I get home, I shut down. I go into mode where I'll get on the computer and I'll do what I want to do at that moment. And so once I'm home, if I have work I have to do, I may forget to do it. If I have a reminder, that may help me.
Okay.
But that's my biggest
So in
weakness.
terms of a job, and from what you know about yourself, how would you overcome that weakness?
I would overcome that by programming my phone to have reminders if I had any work home to go home with. I would have it set up so my computer would automatically open to what I need to do.
Okay, and how would that how would you take that to a job at Burger King? Like if I told you to get like you knew you had 3 things you had to do to open up the store, and you forgot, how would you overcome forgetting in a job setting?
Ritual. That's how I'd do it. I had a system. As I started up, I'd probably forget a lot. But as I kept doing it, I would start to remember, and it would become part of a system of mine. It would become a habit that I would have to
Okay.
do to get
Because you're
through it.
dedicated. That's right. Okay, I get it. How do you define success? Like what is successful to you?
Success is being happy with your life. Being at the point where you wanted to be in your life. It's not having all the money. It's not having the best of things. It's being right where you need to be and having everything you need at that moment. That is
And
success.
recognizing it. Okay, so let me ask you, this is kind of off. So what do you see, how do you see yourself being successful in 5 years? You'll be 21, 5 years from now? 20?
22.
22.
Maybe 21.
Okay, so in your early 20s. What would success look like for you?
Success would be I have a job, I have an apartment all by myself, I am at least, or I have a roommate.
Uh-huh.
I at
But
least,
you're not at your mom and dad's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My mom isn't happy about that. But I'm taking at least some college class courses. I am pursuing either a medical degree or a programming degree in college. That's what I think I'll be doing in 5 years. That's
Uh-huh.
what I want.
And
I
that's,
want to
that
be.
would be successful for you. That
Yes.
would, yeah, good. So working in an environment, even like Burger King, you work in an environment where you work in a group. So can you describe, do you have any experience either in school or your church or volunteering or something where you worked in a group and what you did in that role?
Oh, this is a difficult one.
Like, it could be something as simple as, like, do you, you know what, he moved that thing so like you get a sideways view of yourself. Do you like that? It's like, well, okay. You get to look back at this and see if you like how you look. I don't like how I look. Sorry. It could be something simple as like, does Mrs. Tidwell assign you guys group things that you're doing together?
Well, one thing I did was with my mother and my brothers, we'd go out and we'd go to blanket coverage, which is basically
Oh, yeah.
my mom would cook a meal and there would be like 3 other people that would cook a big dish, and we would serve it to them at a house.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be pouring either the milk or arranging the cookies to give to the people as they walked by.
Uh-huh.
That
And-
was my job.
And so do you, and when you see yourself, so based on your experience in projects that you've done at school or on the blanket coverage, what do you think that it takes to be successful when you're working on a group project?
For the whole group to work together.
Okay.
One can't be slacking off, the other one can't be doing too much. They all have to at least pitch in a part. Even if it's small, the whole group as a whole has to be functioning.
Okay, so what happens if one person doesn't like the role they have?
Then you work out a system to see if you can get a better role for them, or you just let them sit there and
Okay.
fizzle, which is a bad idea.
That's okay. So have you had any jobs that you've worked for other people? I mean, look, you've done like seasonal work, and when you worked on rentals, did you work for somebody else, or work for your parents, or who did you?
It was a work for my father.
Okay, and can you describe any kind of problems that you've had that it could be something just as simple as like you forgot something and you had to go back and get it or whatever, that you can describe your actions in helping to solve problems. That's That's a hard one.
I might. So, solving problems. I'm usually the person who goes and gets things. If something's forgotten, I'm usually asked to go get it. If something needs to be got, I usually go get it.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I usually do to help solve problems.
Mm-hmm.
I usually help stop arguments too if an argument arises.
Okay.
So that's what I usually do
A
to help
peacemaker
stop.
and you're cooperative, yeah, okay. Do you find that you've ever had an opportunity in those things for leadership?
Sometimes, but yeah, I've found times where I had opportunity to be a leader in those
Do you
groups.
like that?
Yeah, it's nice to be able to help people organize themselves and keep everything on track and out of chaos.
Why should we hire you?
You should hire me because, like I said, I'm dedicated. I'll be there on time. I also can work with people pretty well. I will do the tasks that I've been asked to. I'll recheck with you on what tasks I need to be doing. And I'll make sure my other coworkers are also doing their tasks, if it is within my say to tell them to do so.
Do you have any questions for me about working at Burger King?
I have a question. How is the group, the team? How is it set up?
Okay, so usually we have one person who's the manager. It's either the manager, the store manager, or a manager for the day, and we have, each person is cross-trained to do different kinds of jobs. Like they might start just like making French fries or bussing the tables and keeping stuff stocked, and then they train on to other positions, like whether or not cash register or the person who, or the job that's, one of the ones that's really difficult is doing the drive-through, like doing the cash register and the drive-through and doing orders, because they have to multitask. And as people show that they're willing to move from one spot to another, that sort of thing. Do you have any other questions about what it's like?
What are the hours? How early can I get there and how late can I leave?
That's a good question. So Burger King is open for long hours. So if you were just starting, you probably would have to be flexible about what hours we had open for you. Do you drive? Excuse me. Do you drive?
Yes, I do drive.
Okay. So we would we have flexible hours. Anything else that sounds interesting about it to you? That you need to know?
No.
Nobody ever asks me what they're going to get paid, and that's okay to ask. Maybe because they know it's not real, but that's an okay thing to ask. Like
Okay, what would I be getting paid?
The salary usually, I don't have an answer for that. So let me look at your resume for a minute, okay? And in case I need to ask you anything about it. So you've done a lot of physical work because you work around your folks' place and then have you been in some of the plays?
Yes,
At the school?
I've been an actor in some of the plays, yes.
What's your favorite role you've played so far?
It'd have to be my first play, and it was Sneaky, a character in a pirate play.
Uh-huh.
And I was basically like a horrible crook.
Oh. Uh-huh. And then of all the plays you've been in, which one do you think was the best one? What do you think they did the best production, even if it wasn't your favorite part? Do you think they did a really good job?
I would have to think it was the play Murder Runs in the Family.
Oh.
That one I enjoyed the most.
Uh-huh. Okay, and so you have good computer skills, proficient in PC, Windows, Mac, Google Documents, Learnings. So do you feel like you have good computer skills?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think using the computer skills would translate